Tony here, CCxRC. We're going psycho today. No, I do not wash my RC cars in the shower. That was just kind of a gag bit for the opening of the video. But we're going to be talking about washing RC cars. Why? Because somebody went in the comments and said, hey, can you tell me how you wash your RC cars and you clean them? So we're going to get into that today. I've got my very dirty SCX-10 here. It's been in the mud and in the water, and it is very, very dirty, all inside and out. So we're going to actually clean this today. What I want to say, though, right away is that this is for vehicles that have been waterproofed. What do I mean waterproofed? A couple of steps I've done here ahead of time. Plastidip. I've put Plastidip onto some of the internals to coat them. One, the winch module or electronics. I've Plastidipped my receiver here, and I've Plastidipped my ESC. Now, I've done something here that I don't actually recommend. I Plastidipped the whole thing, the heat sink and all. It was kind of a test because I was planning on replacing this ESC anyway, so I just went ahead and did the whole thing. It's not actually running too hot, so with this brush motor that's in here. The other thing, so this is running the stock brush motor, which is safe for water, but again, you have to make sure that you're taking care of it. Magnum Force 2, so I use this to clean my motor out. Marine grease. I've coated the bearings with a thin layer of marine grease, the gears, things like that inside to protect them from water, make it kind of impenetrable. Another thing, it's all about taking care of the vehicles. It doesn't solve everything. I use WD-40 here on some of the screws, nuts, bolts, that kind of thing to protect it from rust. WD stands for water displacing. 40, I guess it was the 40th iteration that they actually got the perfect method. And this doesn't really, I don't use it for lubrication. I use it basically for waterproofing in a way. I will note, though, that this will introduce dirt. So if you don't keep up on maintenance, this is like a dirt and dust attractant. So it's going to get dirtier if you use this for what I'm talking about. But mine gets dirty either way, so I use it just to protect it and keep it from rusting. PB Blaster is what I will then use to go in, and later on I'll take the bearings out every once in a while, drop them in this to clean them, and then redo the whole method of the marine grease, you know, keeping things lubed and all of that. So that's kind of my basic intro into it. We're going to get it in the sink because, again, I don't use the shower. I've got a tub sink in here in the garage that I'll wash this in, and then I'll hit it with some compressed air. I don't actually use compressed air, though. I use an air compressor instead. So we're going to get right to that here now, guys. Alright, so my method usually starts by washing off the body. I'll take some just spare rags or towels or sponges, and I'll just kind of wipe down the body like so as I'm kind of rinsing it here, just to help get that dirt off, because some of it, especially the mud, will really cling to the vehicle, and I want to make sure I get as much off as possible, get it nice and looking good for the next run that I'm going to do. Alright, so one other thing that I didn't mention because it wasn't on the bench that I used in the cleaning process is Simple Green. I'll use Simple Green on the tires and different parts of the body to kind of restore that nice black shine to the wheels and to give it just a really good cleaning. This is straight concentrate, but I've got several different iterations of this where I've basically dumbed it down, or I've diluted it and added water, so it's not quite so strong. But I'll spray this on parts, and then I'll wipe it, and then I'll wash it again just to rinse it off. Alright, so next we're going to do the body, and I've just got a sponge here that I'll use to get in and help kind of rinse and clean it off here, get some of the hardened dirt off of some of the pieces in here. Now, I don't mind it getting too wet because, again, I've run it through rivers and water and creeks and things like that, and I just want to get this thing as clean as I can. A lot of times I'll use a brush for the tires. I don't have it readily available tonight. I'm not actually sure where I left it last time I used it for something else. So, but this part can take a little while. I'll use a toothbrush here in the rims because I want to have it nice and pretty for the next run. Alright, so now I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to spray some Simple Green. I don't usually spray it direct on, and you should usually use gloves for this, but I don't have any here. And I'm going to just put it on. I'm going to wipe down the plastic parts with it. Try and get a nice shine restored to some of the blacks and really get it clean. Should be using gloves, guys. I apologize for not being a good example here with chemicals. And then I'll let it sit for a little bit and work some of its Simple Green magic. This I try not to get directly into the motor or anything like that. Just mainly the plastic and the wheels. And then I'll rinse it off here in just a minute. I will say that using a hose I prefer because I have more pressure than what I'm getting right now from the sink to help kind of blast some of the hardened mud off of it. But it's actually looking alright right now, so we'll be alright. So again, pretty clean. I don't have the wheels perfectly cleaned out, but it'll do for tonight. If you look in here, you can see all the dirt that I had on the car. And now I've got a little strainer in the back there. And I'll go through here and I'll clean this all up with a paper towel just to avoid having it go down the drain. Alright, well, it might not have been a perfect example in some of the other steps. I will say I'm definitely putting on safety glasses because this sends mud and water flying everywhere. Mud that you think you cleaned off but is still stuck. And I'm pretty liberal with the WD-40. It doesn't cost a whole lot. You can actually use it on your tires too to help add a little shine to them again if you want. But my main goal is to make sure I hit any of the nuts and bolts and stuff that's in here that I want to avoid rusting. So that's my main goal with this. And again, I like to keep my truck clean, so I'm a little liberal with this. It'll attract dust, but it for the time being is going to help keep dirt from getting, or it's going to keep water from doing damage. So I put it on here, and then because it's a lubricant, I'll usually wipe it around to get any, so it's just not sitting there standing super wet. I'll kind of just rub it around and in and get any of the extra back off. And then I'll pour some water here on my floor just to dilute what's there. But we'll get a nice shine on our tires for the time being. Alright guys, so that is it. That is my cleaning process for my RC vehicles that are waterproof. And as you can see, the tires from the WD-40 have a really nice shine to them again. They're nice and black. The plastic has that kind of original blackened look to it. It's not as the mud sometimes, if you don't use WD-40 or things like that, it'll still be coated on there and it'll be kind of a light brown on it. I've gone and done all of the internals here. Everything is looking pretty good, and it's nice and clean. It's still a little bit damp. I'll set it out to dry tonight and hit it again with the air compressor. But if you guys have other ways of doing things, make sure you leave comments below. This is just my way of doing it. It's worked well for me. It's quick, and I like that. Now I'm going to say the WD-40, I've said it already, it attracts dirt and dust. And so it will get dirty again. It'll need to be cleaned. This type of cleaning method requires more cleaning after you're done. So if you're not planning to clean it regularly, you know, putting that much WD-40 on it is not advised by me in any way, shape, or form. And other people, you may have some other ways of using something to help kind of re-waterproof some of your nuts and bolts. I know some of you guys, you use different screw kits that are not going to rust. I haven't installed those yet, and so this is kind of my method. But again, I want to hear in the comments below, what do you do to clean your RC cars, guys? Have fun RCing, and we'll catch you next time.